I think one of the craziest things about driving is how it can apply to life. For me, I didn't actually get my license until I was leaving my senior year of high school. So I got it very, very late compared to most of my friends. And in that, a lot of it was because I procrastinated doing the thing of learning how to get my license and taking the test and doing everything that comes with that. And I put it off for so long because it was so intimidating to me, and I was so afraid of getting in a crash. Like, that was my biggest fear. Still is one of my biggest fears to this day. But even back then, it was even more, like, it was insane, and it really caused me, or I allowed that fear to push off me getting my license. But over time, like, obviously, like, soon enough, I had to do it because I was going to need it after I graduated. And so when I think about driving, though, one of the biggest lessons I learned, at least when I started, I watched the road that was right in front of my car when I was driving. But something she taught me was, instead of looking right in front of my dash, look ahead of the road that I was driving into. And that was something that helped me a lot, because when I was looking right over my dash, I could only, like, predict what was right there, and I was very slow. But when she taught me to wisely look ahead instead, looking ahead towards where I was driving, I was able to have better vision and not even have to move my wheel as much. It was very calm and made driving a lot more easier, a lot more simpler, and I was able to be more prepared and safe. Like, that was one of the biggest unlocks when it came to my, I guess, learning in driving, and it made me more confident to eventually go into the test, get my license, and check that box off of my life, because it was seemed like one of the hardest things I would ever do. But looking back, it was one of the easiest. I just made it harder than it had to be. But to bring it back to this video, I think I wanted to talk about the idea of the farther you look ahead, the more safe you will become. Like driving in life, I think if you're only focused on the front of the dash and what's happening right now, what can make me most happy now, what's comfortable now, it can often lead you to make life harder for yourself, because you're so focused on making yourself happy right now that you miss the point of what could happen in the future. For instance, people think the point of life is to be happy, but a lot of the times that isn't the point of life. Like, the point of life isn't to be happy, because let's say your child is in the hospital and you need to go help them. Like, is that going to make you happy in a moment? Probably not, but you're going to go to the hospital and help them because your child matters to you. It's not going to make you happy, but that support is what's needed in that moment for your family. In the same way, in our lives, like, it can be easy to want to stay comfortable and do the easy thing now, but a lot of the times, if you do what is easy now, your life will be hard. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. And if you think about going to the gym, fitness, it can be easy to want to sleep in, to want to not get up when your alarm goes off, to want to stay home, to not want to go to the gym, to not want to start eating the right things and cutting off whatever you need to cut off. And the thing about that stuff is, like, yes, it's so easy to do, it's so easy to stay comfortable in the moment, but over time, in the future, those decisions of comfort, those easy decisions, are ones that eventually come back to bite us. And next thing you know, your body fat starts going up, the weight on the scale is not looking like you wanted it to, the way you look in the mirror is not how you wanted it to. You start feeling a bunch of shame because you're not getting enough sleep, or you're not exercising what you should be doing, and you're breaking promises to yourself, and you're feeling the shame of that. And all of a sudden, the easy decisions that were so simple and easy to do in the moment end up becoming what you most regret, and they end up becoming hard in the long run. But on the flip side of that, there is a time where the alarm goes off, you do get up. It's hard, but you get up. You look at your calendar, oh, it's time for the gym. It's hard, but you go anyway. You don't feel like it, but you go anyway. You're driving, you look to your left and see a McDonald's. You kind of want to go there because you're used to it, but this time you're like, no, I'm just gonna keep driving and going home. You're in Costco and you see the high calorie snacks to the side. You look at it, but then you're like, nope, I'm gonna stick to my list. It would be easy to go and get those snacks and add it to your cart, but you're going to do the harder decision in the moment and stick to your list and do that instead. And though all those examples on the flip side were harder in the moment, where you had to second guess, you had to watch, but in the long run, it is so much more easier and so much more worth it, because you don't regret it, and because you can look back on that decision, that harder decision that was tough in the moment, but it paid off. It was worth it, and you are now proud of yourself because you kept your promises and you stuck to the plan and not your mood. And I think if we took time to look more ahead in our lives and think about how we can delay gratification, how we can do what is hard now to make an easier life for us later. I think if we do that more, we will see a lot more transformation in our lives. And a lot of the times, to live an exceptional life, to live a life that most won't, it's going to take that delayed gratification. It's going to take sacrificing what is easy now to create a better future later. And so I love the quote, discipline is freedom, because when you're not disciplined, you think you're free, but that freedom, again, it's like the freedom to do what is easy ends up leading to a harder future. But if you are disciplined enough to stick to doing what is hard in the moment, that is what actually leads to the transformation of an easier life over time. And I can bring this all back to, and I guess I can bring this all back to the driver's license of me getting mine. Like, I procrastinated so long and waited so long to do it when I could have just got it done. And it was easy to procrastinate it. It was easy to push it off because I was scared and I wanted to have all these excuses as to why I wasn't ready yet. But like, looking back, if I were to just push away those excuses and just start learning and just go for it, I would have gotten my license a lot sooner. It would have made things a lot more easier on my parents. And overall, it would have been tough in the moment to start, but it would have been worth it. And so if I could go back, obviously I would get my license sooner. But now all I have left now is the lesson. And so I'm grateful for the lesson. And so with that, like looking at all of our lives, if there are things we're pushing off or things we're not doing, a lot of the times our sin or our mess ups aren't of what we do. It's a lot of the things of what we're not doing. And James talks about this too. And so I remember that. I try to remember that. And I think I say this as a challenge to myself, but also to whoever's watching, that if there are things in your life where maybe it's fear pushing you back or making you procrastinate, or there are things you know you should do that are pretty tough in the moment, but you know that it'll be easier in the long run, I hope this encourages you to lean into that discomfort, lean into that pressure, lean into the discipline, lean into feeling uncomfortable, experiencing pressure of discipline, but allowing that pressure to lead you to diamond results over time. And so with all that being said, one, if you still need to get your license, get that done. But also remember the message of discipline is freedom, and that if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I hope this helps. See you later.